So hi, my name is Alex. I'll be showing you how to do voiceovers as the announcements and how we go about fixing the audio and I go about doing it on Canva. So we'll just get started. Yes. So just a few things. Um, so here with me is the Adobe Auditions file that I use. So just kind of close it first, just save, then close. So initially when you open Adobe Auditions, you'll have it on an empty, you'll have a few empty bars, empty tracks as you can see here. So what you do, you come to File, you can say New, then you say Multi-track, create a new multi-track session, which will land you to this page. Now these are the multi-track sessions that you use for different types of audios. And so once you've opened your new file, you can go to where your music is and you can drag your music to this panel here. So um, drag it to this panel here. So once your audio is on this panel here, like you can see mine are here. So I can the first one that you can see here, the first one you can see here is the multi-track session, which we have just created. And the second one you can see here is my background music. Then these two are my audios. They're my voiceovers. So personally, I have this setup, so I'll just come in here. So for you to set up like you will see on my preset, you can just come in here, drag your drag your background music to the second bar here. Then you can come up here and drag your voice to the top bar here. This will help you to this will help you to identify. You can name the tracks if you want. So you can come here and double click and you can rename this to background music. So just delete background music. You can say just say BG. Then you can come in here. You can say voice or VO for voiceover. Then so on this panel, I've collapsed this. So for this panel, for this specific track, you can select it and make any changes that you'd like through the effects track here. If the effects track is not here, you can always come up here and you can always come up here under window and click on the effects track, or you can use Alt 0 for you to turn up that effects track. Remember this, in Adobe Auditions, you can check, you can do your research on Adobe softwares, but in Adobe Auditions and any other Adobe software, there are panels which can be rearranged depending on how you'd like to use them. So if your effects track does not appear here, it can appear on this other side, it can appear up here, it can appear down here as well. So the panels are named, so you can just look for where your panel is. The effects track allows you to have different effects for different types of for different audios that you've set up in your multi-track session. So you can come up here, you can select. For me, I can select this one, and let's say I want to denoise. Let's say there's a bit of noise in the background. You can just select, then come here, then under amplitude. Well, let me see, I'll have to look for that one. You can come here under noise reduction, then you can just select denoise. Once you select denoise, it will give you a graph that you'd have to set up to how you'd like it to be. But each and every effect has presets that allow you to either take it higher or take it lower. So for this case, you can do heavy noise reduction. It will automatically set the percentage, or you can do just a light noise reduction uh, that will set it to a lower percentage. There are many effects. You can go on YouTube and look for how to work with how to work with effects here. But for me, I prioritize. Once you do your audio very well, you can always come in here and just edit without using any form of tracks, any form of effects. You can just come in here and edit as you'd wish. So I'll just go to my preset. So I have this one called main Thursday audio. So for my case here, for the first line here, I have my voiceover, which I can rename for this tutorial. So voiceover VO, I can name VO. Not sure why it's not free. Oh, okay. Just use it as it is. Um, so for my second track here, I have my background music. So for the background music, you can see some tweaks that I have done for the effects. So I'll just show you how we go about everything. So for this track that you see here, these are the old voiceovers that I've been doing. So this is one of the old ones. So I'll just scroll down, come and take it at the bottom here. Then I can mute that track so that I cannot hear it once I'm working on the new audio. So I had recorded the voiceover already. So I'll just come in. I just find my voiceover where my files are. Let me see. So for voiceovers, there are few options you can choose to do. You can either do you can either do AI voiceovers, or you can choose to do voiceover from an individual, which is always the best option since you'll have natural intonation of words. And AI, some of the AIs have natural intonation of words, but some will give some weird intonations, but if you know how to cover that and edit, I think you are okay. Yeah, so I think this was my initial this was my new voiceover. So you just come to you just use your voiceover. So after dragging it here, let me see, let me drag it down here. Yes. Let me just bring it up here for illustration purposes. So once you have your new voiceover, you can there are a few ways you can sync it to your background music. So one, you can come in here, you can select your voiceover, come under essential sounds, and indicate that that's a dialogue. So this will tell auditions that that is voice without music. It's just a voice. Then you can come here, you can come for your background music. Let me delete that for tutorial purposes. You can come in here, get your new music there, and you can indicate this is music. So auditions will load it up and detect that's music. So you can come in here for the two tracks. For you to maintain some good volume, you have to right click both tracks. So you just select as I have selected, right click, then say match clip loudness. This will put them to a negative 2 3 value of loudness, which will set them up to an optimum volume that is comfortable for your ears, um, and comfortable for production as well. So once I have that, I can click my track here, come under darking. So I'll just press darking. So darking is a process of um, bringing the music lower when the voice is there, and taking it higher when the voice is not there. So darking, I'll indicate darking. You can say what you want to dark your music against. So you can dark against dialogue. You can dark against another music clip. You can dark against sound effects. You can dark against ambient clips or environmental sounds, and you can dark against any other thing that you have on your tracks, and it's not maybe listed here. You can tag it and dark your music under that. Remember, you can also dark under one track under multiple things. So if I want to dark this under sound effects and still dark it under voice, you can still do that. Mm, so these metrics are very important when you are considering how to dark your music. So when you come in here, I'll select my music. Come in here, I'll say negative 18 is okay, that's fine. The fading timing is what determines how fast you want it. So you can come in here, personally use 400. Depending on the kind of audio you have, you can use 500, you can use 400, but 400 is a comfortable pace for you to have. It's a comfortable gap for you to put in your music. Be something else I can show. So once I have that, you can see the values have been set to where the music will rise and the music will fall. It's always a good it's always a good it's always a good automated process. So once I come, I can reduce my track here. I can bring this lower. So let's say I want my music to start there. The music will load up until here, and the music will load up. The music will load up until this point. Then the music will go lower, and it will increase, and it will go like that, like that. So probably I can play.
A warm welcome to PCEA Juja Township Youth Fellowship.
Yes. So that's how the music will sound. That's how the music will sound, and we probably can hear even the next rise.
If you are fellowship,
Yes. So what I try mostly what I try mostly is to make the music at least 50% of the audio. So if the audio you can see the bars, if the audio is higher, the music has to be like 50% of that bar. And once you have tweaked that for a specific section, let's say it's for this section, it will apply automatically to the rest, so you don't have to worry much. But I think, as you can see here, we've done it from scratch, and Auditions has already detected that, and it has adjusted, so we have no problem there. Something else that's very important. So for we have the timings up here. So what I do, you can come in here, have bring your timeline bar here, then read the time. So that's 4:17. I always copy this time. I'll show you some more effects that we use. So under properties we have these two, stretch and remix. So stretch and remix are two effects that work very differently, but yet they help you to extend the length of your song. So let's say my song ends here. As you can see, originally my song ends there. If I want to change this, I'd come to stretch. I'd come here to stretch and say probably I want to stretch that song. Okay, you can choose real time or render high quality. This basically means once you're listening to your audio as you edit, you can have it as it will be in the final product. But if you that's under rendered high quality. But you'll have it as under real time you'll have it as it is processing, as the computer is processing. You'll hear it maybe with a bit of scratches. But that's not to worry, because once you actually process your video, process your audio, it will render it automatically. So once I say rendered high quality, it will it will start loading here for me to see. So every time I need to change here, it will load here. Let's say, for example, I want to push this song to 4 minutes, like that. It will stretch the music literally, and the music will be slower. Let me see if you can hear. So it has stretched the music. It has stretched the music. Let me see if we can get something a bit less. Let's say 20, let's say 50% actually. Something. So you see it's loading because I'm under rendered high quality. So for me, probably I can choose real time. I can choose real time. So real time doesn't have to load, and you can listen to it and see. You can hear the music is very, very, very fast. Very, 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 very fast. So that is under stretching. If you choose to stretch your music, it will be you need to have probably a purpose for why you're stretching your music. So the other option that you can use. So let me undo the two effects that I have done. Exactly. So control Z to undo. That always works on anything. I want to turn this off. Let me turn that off. So the other kind of stretch that you can do is remix. And once you come to remix, you have to enable and wait for it to load. Remix allows you to enlarge the size of your music without affecting speed or pitch. Pitch, by which I mean, if you have a very fast music, your music won't have like um, I think if you've seen an audio that you have stretched, the deeper voices will go very high, will have a very high pitch, and or the higher voices will have very high pitches. So you can adjust this without changing pitch. So you can come in here. Let me unmute my music for it to load the ducking positions. Then you can come in here. So I'll put my where I'd like my song to end. Then Come under timing here, just click, then copy, right click and copy, then come in here, select my music. You have to select everything, so select my music, come in here under target duration, uh, click, then paste my time code. So it will load the music to the point I want the music to end. You can adjust this to the millisecond. So if you want that music to end there, that music will end there without you having to add more tracks of the same music. And as you can see, it breaks the music depending on rhythm. So it will sense it will process and detect the rhythm of the song, every beat, every single section of the song, and it will end the music to where you want it to be. So probably you can listen to it and hear,
30 p.m. Thank you for listening. Be blessed.
and you'll hear the music kind of fade out. So once you have this, you're good to go. So most of the work comes in when you are trying to pace in between the different breaks, the different breaking sessions. So what I do personally, I prefer to take this razor tool up here, take the razor tool, come to my audio, cut the individual sections as I'd want to space them, So maybe let me cut that here, cut that here, cut that here, cut it here. So like that, I'd move the audios to where I feel it's comfortable for someone to hear, and hear maybe that breathing section. So probably
Fellowship. We are glad to have you with us today. If you are fellowshipping with us for the very first time, your search for a youth fellowship has come to an conviction, Elder Richard. For your giving and contribution.
yes. So you can cut it all the way to the end and space the different pauses as you'd like them to be. If you have an effect, if you have something on another track, you'd have to create space for that track. Let's say we had something probably here, you'd have to create room for this track on this upper track. So you'd have to make some room like that. So probably even as the audio
For your
goes,
giving and contribution, Elder Richard. We are glad to have you with us
and you
today.
can notice the change in color. So every color, every track has a different color, just for you to see, just for you to keep note of your work. And it goes all the way around, all the way down, and you can continue seeing, you can add more and more tracks if you want to. Something else I'll mention, it's very important, if you cannot hear your audio on your either on your earphones or your headphones, or even on your speaker, on your external speaker, you can always come up here and make sure that if your auditions is like mine, you have to make sure it's on mix, or you can make sure it's selected to master. It's either master or mix, or you can make sure it is selected to your earphones, but that will not sound in your earphones, especially when you're editing, when you're exporting. So master simply means it will come to the master volume. If you've interacted with audio softwares, you'll know master volumes. So it will go to the master volume. This also has to go to the master volume, and if it's like mine, it will come to mix. This one has to come to mix. If I do not have this on mix and I have this on mix, when I go to export, the audio will come as a voice only. It will not come as the audio. So that we have that. um so once we are done editing our audio, and we are comfortable with our music, and we're comfortable how everything has turned out, um let me just undo for this track to go back where it was, like that. So once we have our audio, once you're comfortable with our audio, we can come in, under multi-track sessions. We can come in under mix down session to a new file, and you can come in here. Ensure that you have muted any other tracks that you'll not be using. That's very, very, very important, because you will not hear any audios that you've not been editing. If your audios are like mine and you've been using other audios on this one. So you'll come in here, you'll come under multi-track session, you'll come under entire session, mix down entire session, or you can choose to select and come under multi-track, mix down, and say selected sessions. But personally, I like using entire sessions, because it gives you that affirmation that you're using the entire session. So it will bring you to one track where it has combined all your audio,
If
and you
you
can
are
listen
fellowshipping with us
to
for
the
the very
music.
first time, your search for a youth fellowship have come to an end. We need you within the neighborhood. Make PCEA Juja Township your church. You will love it here. We want of Township Youth
Yeah.
Fellowship.
So I can hear my music. I can hear my music. I can hear my audio as well. So I think I'm ready to export. So I just click. So I'll just come in here and click again. So entire session. It will load it up here on one track. Then now I can come in here and say file export file. Then I'll have to rename it. So maybe I can rename by date. Put the folder there. Say export. Say okay. And okay will put it in my folder, which will be ready to use. And with that we are done. We are at least done with our audio. So after you're done editing your audio, you can close the software. You can maybe save changes. Then you can close your software comfortably. So after you've after you've exported, you can come into your account. So my account here, you can come into Canva. So you can come into Canva. Canva is where our template is hosted. Our template is always there. You can you can edit and modify text. You can change pictures. You can change basically the entire design and make it how you'd want it to be. So for us, we have this is the template using at the time of this recording. So Canva adds new features as time goes, and it takes a bit of time to load. Remember, when your Canva is not loading like very, very well, or you've been loading your Canva for a while and now it's not loading well, it's always advisable to come here under cookies and site data. You can clear your cache. So you can go to manage on device site data, and you can clear, just click the delete buttons. It will clear everything and you'll have to log in again, but it will help you to process Canva faster, because Canva designs and saves files temporarily on your computer, and you'll have to clear those caches for you to get faster processing on your machine. So this is a template that we use. So for if you have when you have your audio ready to go, you can come in here. You can come under upload, under your upload tab here. You can click audio here, and you can just drag and drop your file here. If you drag and drop, you can say upload file, then look for the file where it is, then you can save. So for me, I have a few audios here, so I'll just use one as an example. So there's always a previous file, and when you press the small purple line here at the bottom here, you'll see the audio. So once you press that audio again, you have selected it, and now you can delete the audio. You can just press the delete key on your keyboard, and it will delete your audio. Then you can bring your your timeline bar at the beginning here, and you simply have to just select the audio that you want to use. So once you've selected your audio, it will be set from the beginning to the end. Then you'll have to listen now to the audios as you adjust. So let's do that very slowly. So the main important thing when you're changing slides is to listen to the music and hear where the sound comes on end. So probably you can always come in here and zoom in. So there are different zoom in levels here. You can do one for the thumbnail, where you can just zoom in the thumbnail or zoom out, or there's one you can click again and you can zoom in the smaller thumbnails at the bottom here, which make them bigger and make them longer for you to adjust easily and quickly. So I can come
A
in
warm
here,
welcome to
I
PCEA
can
Juja
play
Township
the
Youth Fellowship.
video,
We are glad to have you with us today.
can play the
With
video.
us for the very first time, your search for a youth fellowship has come to an end.
I can play the video.
Do you live within the neighborhood? For your giving and
So as the
contributions, you
sound
can
is, I
use the
think you
details
can
displayed
hear.
on your screen.
I think you
Our
can hear.
notices
So
are as
you
follows.
just you just
For
listen,
your giving and
and for the templates that you have, you just adjust. So to adjust, you come to the small bars at the top here. When you bring your mouse to the bar here, you can just slide to where that ends. Then make sure the other one begins at the right point. Then you just come in, you just listen to where that ends, come to where the other one begins. Then you just slide over. You can put different transitions on the small icons. You can dig deeper to see how um, to work with Canva, but basically this template will just guide you through. So once you slide this bar over to the end, you'll come to the end of the slide, and you'll be able to see where your music ends as well. Where your music ends as well. If your music if your music is like mine here and has this long line still going, you need to know that your announcements, your slides have not ended like with where the music is. And once you export this video, it will be cut at the middle. As you can, even when you listen, you just
the creative
hear the same thing, that your sound will end at the
30
middle.
p.m. The creative
So you can just come in here. You can these are more slides that and do not apply to this specific announcements. They are past slides which I just hide for because they were announced before and you can't repeat them really. So for you to unhide them, you can unhide them, you can maybe edit, you can put in more slides. Once you have an active slide is when your audio increases. When you have another active slide, is when your audio increases. So once you do that a few times, it will allow you to it will allow you to edit until where your audio ends, which is a good thing. So you can read more about Canva. I'll try put a few videos on the tutorial, but you can actually check and see some more videos. But you can go through these panels and see how they work together. It's how you change everything here. Everything here is added through these panels. So for example, if I want to have a template, if I want to add a new template, you just come in here, look for a template, look for a good template. Mm. Be stylish, so look for something competitive. um, Let me see. This one was one of my favorites. This one was one of my favorites. So you can come in here, you can just drag and come and add it to where you want it to be. Then you can just double click and edit text and say Juja probably. That, and it gets your message out there. You can you can click as well, and it will give you an option either to replace the current page or add as a new page, and then it will add next to that page. If you replace it, will replace that page specifically. You can delete that, not to mess the announcements too much. um yeah. I think that's pretty much most of what goes about with the announcements. Lastly, I'll finish with how we record sound with AI voices. So currently I'm using OBS. As you can see, this is OBS. It allows me to to record my screen and also record my sound as well. So for of course, for voiceovers mostly you need sound. So when you're working with people, you just record the sound and come with it as an audio version. But when you're using AI, um, you can either type out the script. So personally, let me show you. So there's a site called Online Notepad, which just gives me the script as it is. Okay, I write my script here just for the AI to read, and it has nothing special on this site. It's just nothing special on this site. I wanted a notepad that is online, so which I found the site. So I you can realize I'm using Microsoft Edge as my browser here. Reason is Microsoft Edge has AI features that allow you to use sound, to use sound, mm, to use sound that reads out, to use voices that read out the script back to you, or read out a book, or read out a PDF, or read out anything basically. So for me to have something that I could edit, I use this online notepad. Then the sound, you can come up here, and there's a read aloud option. Let me see. There's a read aloud option. Oh, okay. I think it comes in here. Let me see. Yes, there's a read aloud option. I can't have it on this. I'm not so sure, but there's a read aloud option that's here. Personally, I use the shortcut Control Shift U, which pops up that, so you can see it very quickly.
A warm welcome to PCEA.
There we go. So this this small bar here is the one that gives you that option. So it detects everything that is there. It reads everything aloud, following following the script, as you can see, and it highlights in yellow. It highlights in yellow as it goes along. So you can have it in different speeds. You can have it normal, you can have it lower, you can have it higher, you can have it, and it has a bunch of voices. So personally, I choose Acelia Natural English. She is Kenyan. I think she's a Kenyan AI. She is Kenyan or Tanzanian, between the two. But all these are voices, as you can see here. So maybe I'll just choose an English one.
PCEA RD. For your giving and
So
contributions,
as you
you
can
can
hear,
use the
because I
details
cannot hear on my
displayed on
end
your
because
screen.
I'm recording,
Our
but
notices are
the
as
voice
follows.
has to be like an
Ladies,
English voice.
this
So the voice is an English, is a Mzungu, so to say. um Once I come in here, I can choose another voice. So you can have any kind of voice, even you can record even for different country, which is very crazy with intonations. Some languages are not so good, like Nigerian guys, but this personally, I use this to, for a male voice, Chilemba online English, Kenyan is good. For a Swahili voice, Microsoft Auxilia online natural English, Kenya is good. So this is the one that we use normally. Let's see.
This Saturday, we will be going to Camp Dunda for a weekend of
Yes. So
fun, fellowship, and spiritual.
yes, so I believe it has changed. If you if you are working on your audio, you have to be very careful about intonations and spelling. Like for this word here, this is supposed to be Kampudunda with a DU, but I use double O simply because the AI has to spell it out well. Um, you have to write everything, that how the AI will read it, because it's a script and the machine is reading the script exactly as it is. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing as well, because sometimes it will not be able to read certain languages, specific wordings very well. And sometimes when the sentence is too long, it will have the intonations very weirdly. So you can practice, you can do your research, see how that goes. So personally, I use OBS. I just come in here in OBS, start the recording, as you can see, then come back to Microsoft Edge, and um, just restart. So just do Control Shift U,
A
and that
warm
starts
welcome to
my
PCA Juja Township
my
Youth
audio.
Fellowship.
So you get to
We
listen,
are
you
glad
get to
to have you with us today. If
listen,
you are
then
fellowshipping with
here
us
if
for
it's
the
okay,
very first time,
then if it reads to the listen, and here if it's okay, if it reads to the end, you can come back to OBS and you can just end the recording. So after ending the recording, it will save it on your folder. So the recording will be a search. The folders will be like this. So I personally, I use them with a black background, so that you won't have a big file, because big files like this one here, like, or this one's here, 1 GB, they're bigger because it was recording it as a video. But personally, I choose the option. Let me just show you for a second. So there's an option here for fade to black. When you fade to black like that, I think you can't see anything, but once you have that, it gives you the option, to edit the sound, to have the sound without a video. Then Good thing about auditions actually is that you can come to when you are at multi-track here and you are editing your new music. So let's assume this was my old one, then I want to put in my new one. So you just come in here under folders, then OBS recordings, as you can see, is the name of my folder. So I just take a short one so that it won't load forever. Then I can just bring it here. Okay, maybe that's too small for you to see. So I'll just come in here maybe. Okay, let me just do a big one like that. So auditions will give you this panel here that has a video reference, but you can always delete it if you don't want it because obviously you won't be using it. And then you can edit your sound how you want, and you can edit your music, and you can mute other tracks just to be safe, and then you can export just as I've showed you. This will be a long video, has been a long video, but I think I have illustrated everything that would go about making this. So some final steps I do after finishing on Canva. You just come up here, you say share, then you can come here and say download. Then you can change, you can choose, you can even have a PDF, you can have a PowerPoint slide, you can have a printed something you can print, which will be okay if you're sending it to someone and they need to see the announcement very quickly. But you can come in here, say download, make sure the pages are all of them, or you can just come in here and say all. Okay, not really all, because some of them you had deselected, you had hidden. So this one you don't need to select anything. You unless okay, you need to select unless you're using very specific. There are times I find myself selecting specific pages, especially when you want to export maybe a page as a thumbnail. This option will be very okay. Or you want to export each and every page as a JPEG, then you'd have to choose the ones that you'd like to. So I'm trying not to leave out any information. So MP4 video is the perfect option. Then you can say download, then it will bring you to this folder, this panel here, which says some of the items you've used have a watermark, you need to pay for them. So you can just come under these options here and say download a free watermark draft. And this that's the end of it. It will download first. It will download here, so you will need enough time for you to process this. A big challenge always has been someone bringing the announcements late. Then you have to add them to the announcements and wait for this download to finish. Then the other download up there has to finish, because once this has finished, it will come up here under Chrome now and then download again, which is always a bit tedious. So some of these announcements are the ones that I've downloaded before, which I think I see I've deleted. But the file is always about 100 MBs. 100 MBs. If it's That's when it's a bit big. When it's small, it goes maybe below 100 MBs. But 100 MBs, 130, 117, those are the values that I've seen over time. But it always depends on the kind of graphics that you've put in, the kind of images. If you have a video that will take up more, that will take up more storage. So once you've downloaded, I think this you will see a bit later. Your download is still continues down here. Then once you've downloaded, what I do immediately is go to YouTube, load it up, make sure it's a church account. Um, Come here under YouTube Studio and under content, yes, under content, then you just upload the video. Once you've uploaded the video, so here as you can see, the download is starting now at the top here. Now this one is the one that's coming to your computer. I can cancel that because it's just a draft. So you can choose create upload files, then I'll just drag my video there. So I'll just drag the one that has downloaded, I'll drag it here, and it will load up and it will be saved just like any other announcement here. Then you can rename the video. You have to rename the video and put in a thumbnail, but the thumbnail will just auto detect. Then but this work mostly Joey's will do. So This work mostly Joeys will do, but I I just make it a bit easier. I just get the link for him and share. Then once the announcements have been read in church, he he's able to share to the group, and it's work done very easily. So um, just a few pointers to finish. So Canva. The steps go. First, I begin with on Monday. I send a message to the council to send the announcements. On Tuesday, you can remind them as well. Then on Tuesday, that Tuesday, once you have the script, you can start by editing the Canva templates. That's always easier because it's time consuming. So we first start with the templates. Then you go to after doing the templates. Now after you are sure on Tuesday evening or on Wednesday that there is no other announcement, you can write the script and record using the AI or using someone. So you can record the script using the AI, using someone, and once that's done, you have your templates ready on Canva. So you just come after you've done the voice, you come to auditions, you put in your voice, you do the music, then you dark the music, then you listen to it, make sure it's okay. Then after you're done with that, now you are good to go. So you just put your audio to your Canva templates, the ones that you had set up probably on Tuesday or on Wednesday evening or on Monday evening. Then it will be easier. You just adjust the timelines, give it time to download, then you just put it on YouTube, send to Joeys the link, or send to Joeys the video. He will put it on YouTube. Then once you're done with that, you're good to go. Remember also to share to the group in time, um, and always avoid and discourage people who share recently. Like today is Thursday right now, and someone has shared part of the script that goes that messes you up a bit, because you have to do all these steps if you have a correction, you'll have to repeat these steps, which is very hard to do, which is very hard to bear going along. But it all depends on how you're willing to work with them. um so I think that's everything that I had. Any questions, feel free to share with me feel free to share with me on my WhatsApp, or reach out to the person that's in charge of announcements. They they know they know. Yeah, so that's I think that's it. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day. um yeah, enjoy your day. Have fun.